Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now I did tell you I was going to be doing another video on the Pmags, which I am. Don't know if you can hear this, but this is a Pmag that I've just had in one of my storage boxes, and it's been ungassed, and as you can hear, it's leaking from the base plate, which happens. So if you've got this problem, I've addressed it before. You can take the base plate of the mag apart, pull the plate off, and basically just re-grease that up and put it back in. And it does work, but if you do get lax like me and you're not using them as much, what can happen is it can happen again. So I'm going to show you today on how to update the base plate to the newer design. It's going to carry on leaking there, so let's just dump the gas out. So I'm going to run you through it now. Let's get this rattler out of the way. Now, if you want more information on how I set up the rattler and the spear, you know what to do. Go down to the comment section below, hit up a comment, and if there's enough of you asking for it, I'll do more rattler and spear LT videos. So this is the part. I've been looking at ordering this from overseas. The only shop that I found on the website, just in my searches, was JK Army. But every time I went to order, I obviously needed 6. And every time I went to order, they had like 1 or 2 in stock. So it was just pointless. But Fire Support had these in stock. So I bought 6 as well as some other bits because we're going to be upgrading we're going to be putting more parts into the TAC 41. Yeah, I know it's a massive money pit. With some bits over from Empire Airsoft as well. But this is the code GM0590, new designed upgrade bottom seal for GM Evo MWS mag only. And it's literally just a 2-part plate that you can tension with little grub screws. So first of all, what we'll do, you want to take your base plate off the bottom of your magazine. These magazines can be a little bit fiddly to work on, so obviously watch my other videos. I haven't done one of these in a long time, so I'm going to be refreshing my memory at the same time. And we're going to need a 1.5mm Allen key and a little Phillips style screwdriver. So let me just get the correct tool in and I'll be straight back. Now I'll be using my kinetic driver just because it's a very high quality tool for this. Make sure you've got high quality like Allen keys for this because you don't want to round these out. I'm still asked, oh my god, daily about this kinetic driver. All those of you that have been watching my videos know how many times I have to keep telling people what this is. So do me a favour, if you're a long time watcher, go in the comments below and tell people to stop asking me because I'm not going to keep repeating myself. So we want a 1.5mm Allen driver, Allen key, whatever you got. Just use a high quality one. It's not a 1.5, it's a 2. So that tells me, doesn't it? So 2mm. Take the little Allen key out the back there, and then I'm just going to switch over to a small posi to remove the 2 little screws that sit on the front. Now I'm just going to put my finger there just to stop anything flying off. So we've got 2 of them. Can be a bit fiddly. Just be careful with these because if they do fall on your carpet, they might be hard to find. So once we've done that, we can actually slide this off. So you'll see it's just all jiggled in there. I'll go through about how to set that back in place when we put it back together. You'll see the base plate at the bottom there. I think once we remove this, we need to remove the spring. Again, I'm refreshing my own memory because I haven't worked on these magazines for a while, so bear with me. I'm just going to go size up. Try not to push that out. 1. These are slightly shorter screws, and we need to maintain pressure on this block because it's going to want to spring out at us. So just be very careful. Be mindful on what you're doing. Just going to let that screw come out another couple of turns like that. And the way I like to do it is I just hold pressure on the front lever up, and then I quickly put my finger in like that, just so I can remove this plate because I don't want this to go flying or just holding onto it. And then you can just literally loose the pressure on your finger and slowly let that spring out. Like so. Once you've done that, we can let this come forward. In fact, we take the, I'm pretty sure we take the follower out first, don't we? Again, probably the other video I did will be a better watch because I was up to date with these. So we just want to remove this. And that is under spring tension as well, so just be careful. Once we remove that, we can pull this out. So once you've got the casing off, you'll be left with this. You've got the little thermometer. Again, a lot of people are doing this now. It really doesn't make any difference. Knowing what temperature that is, what's it going to do? Is it going to make you warm the mags up? No, by the time of this point, it's nice as an indication. So it's like about 15 degrees, this mag. Or so it says, ish. But I wish they'd put something like this in there first, rather than having to mess about with these stickers. So once we've done that, we need to knock these pins out. Now to knock these pins out, it will be under a little bit of tension because you sort of press this down while we do it. Now I'm going to use an armourer's block like this. And I'm just going to use the edge of the armourer's block and I'm just going to tap it out. So what do I need? I need a hammer. Which of course, where is that? Don't know, we'll have to use something else. And we're just going to use something to punch the pins out. So I'm just going to use an Allen key here, it's the right size. The middle one actually pops out by itself. Slides out. And the other two are going to need a tap. So let's place this down. I'm just going to use something random because I don't see the hammer on the bench anywhere. So I'm just going to use a little, just a heavy tool, just to tap that out. It'll relieve the pressure off it and then I can put something through that will go through all the way. Loads of ways to skin a cat. Right. So we've got 3 pins. Completely do it. And then you're left with the base plate. Now there's various ways you can take these out too. You can leave them off the front here. You can put the screw back in. I've done it various ways in the past. Sometimes I'll just put a tool in there. I don't want to go size up. And I just lever it backwards and forwards, nice and carefully. And they'll come off. It is a good fit in there, so what we'll do, we'll put that screw back in on the mag like that, and that will give us something to pull against, like so. And you'll see the little gasket, the little rubber seal came off, and this isn't damaged. I think it's just the tolerance. It can't really hold it against this inner edge on the magazine, so we have our new part, and I haven't watched any videos how to fit this. So I'm hoping I can get across if it's going to be difficult or easy. We've got various parts. They do give you a couple of seals, so we'll be keeping them. Be keeping one as a spare, which is always nice. They do look after us, Guns Modify. So we take a seal out. Just going to inspect it, make sure it's all okay. And that is probably going to go on there like that. Now before I do that, of course, going to get the Jaeger 1 grease pen. These are in stock now. These and the oil pens, the easy loaders, Titan nubs, all that good stuff. The MWS downgrade valves. Head on over to Empire Airsoft. They've just had a restock of all this stuff, so you can get it direct from there. Go support the guy, you know, Kenny at Empire. He's a really nice bloke, which is very difficult sometimes to come by in the airsoft industry because a lot of people can be jerks. So I'm just going to apply a light bit of grease around the bottom plate. I'm going to put the seal on. This is basically just so it doesn't dry out. Just lubes it up nice and easy. It will also aid in installing this part. So we're going to put that plate in on the bottom like that. Push it into place. Now these edges on the magazine are sharp, so just be very careful. I think it goes in either one way or the other. Let's give it a tap. What can we give it a tap with? Let's just give it a tap with this. So it is a tight fit. This is where I get it stuck. So we just want to push that into place. It could be just getting stuck on where the pins go through. Let's try it round the other way. So I have managed just to tap that down flat. However, I do think there is a difference in these parts. So I'm just going to have a quick measure, because nothing's ever easy, is it? We're 45.4 long, 15.6 wide. So 15.68 wide. And we're 45.6 long, so it's slightly oversized compared to the old plate. I don't know whether it's worth just giving it a little bit of a file, just to let it sit in there a little bit better, or whether it's it's a case of just tapping it in. So let's measure the front face. That's got a cavity of roughly 6.58, 6.41. So it looks like we're slightly long on this face. So we could get a, I know, right, these parts should just fit. We could just take the front edge down a little bit, because we're only 0.2 of a mil off on length. A bit more. So yours might just go straight into the magazine. I could have a magazine that's a little bit off. I've got 6 to do, so I can always see if it's just a one-off. So I'll try and skip all the useless bits out for you. Oh, it's still very tight. I've actually took any material off. Hardly any. Right, okay. Playing hard to get today. It best not leak after this. If it does, I'm not going to be happy. And we need to tap that home. Okay, I've just tapped it in with the back of a screwdriver that's plastic. And we can fit these pins in. When it's aligned, they just fit in nicely. 1, 2, and 3, like that. Hopefully you haven't had to go through all that bullshit that I've had to. But it's on. And then we have 2 grub screws on the bottom here, which I think are a 2 mil. Are we a 2 mil? It could be a 2.5, 2 mil Allen key. And we're just making sure the pins stay flush. And we'll screw them down just till they touch the plate, like so. And then I'm just going to give them, oh, one pin's fell out there. Slight turn. And that's going to apply pressure onto that steel plate and push the seal against the magazine. Now, will this work? Let's gas it up. and we are sealed. So it's a great idea. Yeah, I've had to fettle with it a little bit. It could just be this magazine, so, you know, take these findings with a pinch of salt. What I might do is try another one and put a bit at the end of the video. So it could just be this. But now, let's say we have a problem later down the line. The gun starts leaking, just like the old gas mags, GBB pistol mags before Maruis decided to go back to this pin system. If it's leaking at a later date, we can just do a little nip up on the grub screws and it will seal that plate. So it's as simple as we slot that back inside the plastic casing, jiggle it about like so. I'm going to take our follower, which the grey section, if we're looking right down the magazine like this, it's going to go in like that, I believe. Or, yeah, like that. And if you've watched these videos before, you know we have to push that latch in. We need to be very careful because that spring's going to want to do one. So you normally can do like a little bit of a twist thing, or you just take a little flathead, just push that little latch in, and then it will enable you to push that into the magazine. We take our spring, throw our screw across the desk, and then we can push this into place. Just use the method I'm doing here, so I'm just using 2 hands to push this down. It's very easy. Once that's down like that, we'll take one of our bigger countersunk screws, screw that into place. Take the other one, screw that into place. So 1 and 2, nip those up. Once that's done, we can put this contraption back together. So we've got the 2 springs that sit in there like that. This has 2 little openings on the bottom there, which go over the springs. We need to put the button in as well. So you want to use the angled section backwards like that, because it goes against that plastic piece. The easiest way to do it is push it in like that, and then we're going to push this part in like so. Keep hold of it because it's going to want to jump out at you. We take the button, pop that into place, and I try and like slightly hold this on the side like that. Line up the 2 springs that go into the base plate. So if we look at the old one, they go into these 2 holes here. Once that's in, we'll get the back screw in, just because we can do that, and it pushes it into place. Take 2 little screws, and then we're going to take a screwdriver. You don't have to torque these down, you know, manically. I tend to just screw them down until they stop, and then give it a little tickle. So screw that down till it stops, give it a little tickle. I'm going to swap back to our 2mm. The reason I'm using these is because they're very high quality bits and they don't slip like that. Once we've done that, we take our base plate, which is hiding under there. To push the base plate on, you push the first button down, slide it over, making sure that that's fully seated that way. Push the button down. That mechanism is so that you can pull the magazine up, push it down, fill it up with BBs, and you can press that button, it releases the tension. I never use that. What I recommend you do is you leave it like this when it's done. Take one of the funky Jaeger Precision Easy Loaders, put it on the top there, fill it up, fill it till it stops, take the easy loader off, pop the top round out, and you're good to go. So now we have a Pmag that if, you know, I start leaking again, I can just pop this base plate off, 3 screws, tighten the 2 grub screws up, and I'm good to go. So thank you very much for watching. I'll try another one and I'll put it up at the end of the video, so it might be instantaneous for you, but it might be 10 minutes for me. Thanks very much for watching, and from me and Bench, we'll see you in the next one. So if you stayed till the end of the video, you can see I've got 5 more of these, and in the interest of consistency, let's see what these measure at. It could be a case of my Pmags are one of the first release Gen 1 mags. I'm told there's now a version 3 as well as the version 2 that featured in my last video. So this could be just a me problem. However, behind door number 1, let's give it a measure. See, that one's slightly smaller, 0.05 of a mil smaller. About the same that way. Let's check the plate. 45.6, yeah, so that's slightly wider. 15.8. Just going to do this for you guys because you're probably going to ask me. Going to see what their upgrade part QC is like. So I'm going to leave the grub screws in. Let's pull out. You can see how much of a job I've got ahead of me doing all these. Now, it didn't take me long. It does take me longer because I'm doing it on video, so you've got to take that into account. But I have to be careful because, like on that laminar defense video where I've told you to, if you're getting this specific style of bolt lock, so the bolt's locking up, this can help remedy it. A lot of people misinterpret that and think that any type of bolt lock needs that mod. So then they'll start modding the mags for problems that aren't related to what I was covering. So 45.6. 45.6 consistent. Let's do length on these first. 45.6 consistent. 45.61. They're accurate to 0.01 of a mil. Just make sure we've got no dust on there. 45.63, so we're still very good. Width-wise, 15.76, 15.78, 15.76, 15.79, 15.77, so they're accurate to each other. We've got 45.55, 45.6, 45.6, 45.6, 45.6. So was it just that one? So there's just one that's slightly undersized, and 15.67, 15.71, 15.68, 15.75. So we do have a bit of variance. Now you're talking fractions of millimeters, but there's no reason why, if you're rattling these off a CNC machine, and you won't be able to see it. No, it would be I'd be lying if I said I could feel a difference. It's probably just in my head. So if you're rattling these off an accurate CNC machine, you should be able to produce them to a high tolerance. Like I say, it could be my mag. Perhaps I'll update you in a later video, but just a bit of information there. So all these seem to be, I would say, within tolerance. You're talking like 0.0 of a millimeter. So I'm happy with that. It might just be a case of mine at old gen mags. We'll find out. They have been used. They've been under pressure. Those two sides at the bottom of the base plate, I have noticed bow out sometimes. I'm pretty sure at one point I did try and squeeze one in because it had bowed out quite a bit. So that could also be an issue, but that's how you fit the kit. If you're having trouble, persevere with it. Don't go extreme. You'll see I was taking very minimal, and it was still tight when I put it in because I'd like it to be tight and sit in place rather than butchering the front of it and then it doesn't fit properly and we have issues. So hope this has helped you in any way, shape or form. If you want any more tutorial videos, you can put down in the comments below what you want me to do. You've asked me for more Spear LT and Rattler videos, so those are upcoming, and I'll say it once again from me and Bench. See you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.